Welcome to Depression Proof Your Life Live, a space for honest conversations about mental health, mental wellness, recovery, and resilience. Here, we explore how communication, environment, and mindset work together to move us from silence to strength. We talk with people who have faced real-life challenges and explore the practical systems and daily structures that help them rebuild their mental strength. I'm Marion Mills, and I created DPYL out of my own journey through mental illness, addiction, and recovery. These conversations are about breaking stigma, finding support, and reminding you that you are not alone. Good evening, and thank you for joining me with Depression Proof Your Life Live. I am really excited about my guest tonight. We are joined by Keaver Brenai. She's an award-winning storyteller whose work spans film, television, and music, featuring campaigns like Nike, WNBA's Run It Back, narrated for All Light Everywhere, and even, clear my throat, even background vocals on a multi-platinum Michael Jackson album. Say that 10 times, anyway, she's also the creator of Brenai Learning Series and author of the 30-Day Voice Athlete Strategy. I am really pleased to have you here, Keaver. How are you?
Yay! Thank you. I am absolutely honored to be here, Marion. This is amazing. I'm so excited for your show. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
The messages that you're sharing with everyone and all the
Thank
people
you.
that you're helping. So thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. So of course, we'll get into the book later. I actually have your other book here. I think we'll may mention that later on. I also have grief relief, which I well, like I said, we'll talk about both of them later on. So let's get into it.
Okay, let's do it.
Tell us how your music career began and how it eventually led you to becoming an author and voice actor.
Oh my goodness. So, okay, I'll fast track you through all of that because
Okay.
quite a long story with a lot of wonderfully, beautifully detailed and flourished stories. But to
Right.
start, I started singing when I was a tot, I'm told. My mother sang in the church choir. My grandmother sat on the front row for the mother's board. And my dad used to sing in the grocery aisle, O Solo Mio, and it just embarrassed everybody. But
Wow.
yeah. So here comes bouncing baby Keaver. And I started singing as a kid, honestly. And I
Wow.
started playing organ and piano in church. And that kind of got my ear and my voice ready for professional singing. I got my first professional gig at the age of 12. Was so honored to just be a part of studio life. And then through high school,
Wow.
college, I used to sleep under the console waiting for my turn to sing background. So I'm
Wow.
a total studio junkie. And I still am,
Wow.
hence my own studio in my house. Thank you, God.
Exactly. Wow.
Yeah, so it was fun just getting to that point, and the people that I got a chance to perform with were
Right.
wonderful and amazing. Speaking of who you mentioned before, Michael Jackson, and having a chance to sing with Andre Crouch, and uh,
Ooh.
that was a beautiful time. Pastor
Oh
Crouch,
my God.
one and sing at the Hollywood Bowl, and just the Greek Theater, lots of different places with different people, was absolutely amazing. And I began to love the microphone and the booth, not so much the stage.
Okay.
And one of my best friends in school, her mom did voiceover, and we used to laugh. And I would always say, "Why is your mom talking on the mic? Like, aren't you supposed to sing on that thing?" Like,
Right.
right?
Microphones are for singing, right?
Little did we know at that time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's how
Wow.
I first saw and heard of voiceover.
Wow.
Yeah.
Quick question about Michael Jackson. I absolutely love. Like I as outgoing and boisterous as I am, and full of energy. When Michael Jackson died, I did not talk the entire week. Like it literally just broke me. Um, and
Yeah.
then after, a matter of fact, I actually I went to work early that day. Went to work early that day. Actually, went on my lunch break and didn't come back
Mm,
because I needed to see his funeral.
yeah.
But were you, because of that, because of the time, were you, did you actually perform with him? Like, did you get to meet him?
I did studio work with him. So not live, but like on stage, but I did
Right.
live studio work with him. And yes, we all got a chance to meet him. He was in the sessions. Wonderful person.
Yeah.
Just a really nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Feel like I'm living, that through you. So thank you for sharing that. So you've been in the industry for quite a while. What are some of the stresses or pressures that you actually came across, of course, with your long career, that actually helped you keep that longevity in your career?
Some of the stresses that I learned to turn into stepping stones, which kind
Mm,
of with my longevity,
yeah.
is dealing with myself and how I feel versus how I may feel other people feel about me. That's a lot of
Mm,
feels in there.
that's good though. Yeah.
We know in entertainment, there's a lot of feelings jumping off from a lot of different people from a lot of different areas, from you as talent,
Right.
from your, person working with you, from your producer to the client. There's a lot of feelings and emotions and
Mm-hmm.
you moved and what's really happening here.
Yeah.
I learned very early on that it's not really about whether you're good, bad, or indifferent. It is, but it isn't. It is,
Mm-hmm.
but it isn't. When you've studied and you know that you are bringing your best to the table,
Right.
you have to get over the fact
Mm,
maybe you didn't win the audition,
yeah.
right? You have to get over maybe
Mm-hmm.
the fact that you were the top 3 and you were shortlisted,
Mm-hmm.
still didn't get it.
Yeah.
You have to get over, "Yay, I made it, I got it, I booked it, I made thousands of bucks." You gotta get over that because tomorrow you gotta
Oh,
audition,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you can't let it become traumatic for you. Some people
Mm,
allow it to be a block
yeah.
and can't really deal with, "Oh my goodness, yesterday I was on stage in an arena in
Mm-hmm.
front of 100,000 people, and today I'm back by myself trying to
Yeah.
bid on a job and audition for a job."
Mm-hmm.
Or, nobody
Yeah.
called me for the audition. All my friends got the audition, but I didn't get the audition. But I just performed with so and so and so and so. What's
Exactly.
there, right?
Yeah.
So you have to get beyond that and you have to find a strength within yourself. You have to learn yourself and study yourself, have
Mm,
quiet time with yourself.
yeah.
Whether you choose, your outlet as God, or you choose the universe, or you choose quiet time or meditation or exercise or staring at the sky or running to the ocean, whatever
Yeah.
it is, take that time so that you can turn those things that may cause you to stumble or may give you some hint of depression or some
Yeah.
hint of discouragement, and you choose to turn that into sunlight and sun rays and sunset,
Mm,
beautiful
mm, mm,
time.
mm, mm. That
Because
is,
yeah,
wow.
you just have to learn from yourself, I think.
I appreciate you for saying learn from yourself. Um, that is something that took me a long time to do, you know. And I can honestly say that for me, I realized that had a lot to do with my depression. It was what I thought about, a lot of different, just about everything in life. Uh, and again, why I created Depression Proof Your Life, because it was like I my mindset changed, how
Mhm.
I responded to the situation, to whatever, and not internalizing things. It was like, and honestly, I felt like, wow, Was it that easy? Like I could have been delivered from that, you know? Like, but yeah, it really is. Being self-aware is huge,
Yeah.
huge. But yeah. Um, so creativity is clearly from birth, at the core of everything that you do. You've actually come across film, television, music, voiceover. What is your favorite and why?
Honestly, they are all my favorite because there's a part of you that is a part of all of them,
Yeah,
right?
that
There's
makes
like
sense.
this thread that runs through the fabric of creativity.
Mm,
And I love them all. All of them are a part of me, and I'm a part of all of them. And each one brings out something unique in me, you know,
right.
something that's totally different than anything else. Anything else. It's when it's time for me to sing,
Hmm.
it comes from a whole nother place within me.
Yeah, yeah.
It's time to do voiceover and think through a script and figure it out. It comes from a different side of me. You know, even when I was doing musical theater and I was doing different things, it's like it's a whole different part of you. And all of it just makes up I that whole excellence of you. It's
Yeah.
just it's amazing. It's like having multiple streams of income. You are a part of all of it.
Hmm.
Whether you are a producer, an actor, an editor, you write the scripts, so you're a copywriter. If you are
Okay.
an actress, if you are a model, it's all
Right.
creativity. They're
Yeah.
all different streams of income. So you're
Hmm.
hyphenate. You have all these multiple streams of income, but they're still all a part of the same cloth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the way that you describe that because it makes me think of being able to tap into other areas, if for whatever reason, if you weren't being uh that creative niche, I guess, wasn't being satisfied in one area, you have all these other areas that you can actually pull from where you can actually actually tap into that. Um I'm really grateful for being able to do what I do, especially coming from a field like social work. I, I realized a lot of my creativity it was just pushed down. There was no way to actually use it, especially working for the government. There are certain ways, there's bureaucracies in place, so there was no room for creativity. It's like, this is the way we do things, this is the way that it have to be done. So yeah.
But my question for you, do you feel that you found creative ways to help people? Do you feel that you found creative ways to communicate with people? Do you feel that you things that were beyond the book, things that were beyond just this is how we do it every day we come in, we've got to check this box. But do you feel that you were able to break down a little bit of the stigma of having to come and talk to someone like you?
Yes. I love that question. Look at you, just flipped it all smooth. Look at you. Um, no, that's a great question. And yes, I can honestly say that I did, and I had to. Again, as a lot of your posts, I just watched one earlier, bringing your authenticity, being authentic to your voice, to yourself. And the one thing that I helped me be authentic is spending time with people. Like, and that's honestly, even though I love voiceover, that's what I love about doing this, because I love talking to people. I love learning, things about people. And I used to get in trouble a lot because they were like, "You're spending too much time with the client. Do what do whatever you got to do and come back." But for me, I didn't just go by what was on that paper,
Yeah.
because there's more to that. And that's probably a very small portion. There's something greater underlining that. That's probably just the cause. But actually, what are the some, what's actually at the core of this actually happening? So yeah, I was able to do that. And at the same time, I also shared myself with my clients. Sometimes, you have to be careful of disclosing things, but I thought it was very important to be able to do that. I sometimes I was like, especially if someone had the idea and the feeling of oh, you don't care, you just here because you work for the government, or you don't understand, you have your degree, you walking around with your clipboard. I would actually like, look, I these are some issues that I'm struggling with, that and they were like, really? So you actually saw those walls break down, and I thought that that was really important. So yeah, so in that way, I really do believe that I did, and continue to do so with Depression Proof Your Life Live, and just other things that I'm doing with it as well. Locally, I'm doing things with Depression Proof Your Life as well, so that
Okay.
are very satisfying. Yeah,
I love that for you.
I love that you flipped it on me, all nice and smooth. Oh boy. But so it seems like you have a strong passion for learning and education. How
Mhm.
does that connect with your creativity, and why is it so important for you to actually give back through education?
Wow. Okay, now you're tapping into a little bit of my private space here with this
Okay.
education piece.
Okay. Okay.
But I will say I am currently back in school after saying I wasn't going back to school.
Mm, mm,
There was a voiceover talent. I won't reveal who it is, but she talked about getting her doctorate, and she talked about what her parents thought about it and what she thought about it, and I was like, "What do I think about it?" I'm like, "Mm-mm, I'm not gonna do that." But I decided to do it. I decided to do it, and as they always say, "Are you doctor yet?" Well, I'm almost doctor. I'm almost.
Ah, ah.
Yes, yes.
That is.
I am excited about this move in my life, and it's helped me look at different things differently.
Mhm.
Been mentoring people, and the whole mentoring thing was not by choice. It was people felt comfortable enough to just text me or call me or DM me and ask me, "Hey,"
I'm people. I'm amongst people. I'm people.
and they would just reach out to me, and I
Right.
started just, offering the information that I could, free of charge, just, giving back to the
Yeah.
community. And
Mhm.
once I started studying, getting this doctoral in this doctoral program, I realized that I really love giving back to people. I mean, I've always been philanthropic, but
Yeah.
I believe in giving back to people and helping people, whether
Yeah.
they're stumbling or just have a quick question.
Mhm.
And I think from there is how I got to the point of writing this last book. You know, the
Mhm.
whole, 30-day athlete strategy is just like so, voice athlete strategy is just so right up my alley of things that I do every day.
Yeah.
And it was a matter of working with my success coach. Yes, I too have a success coach. I have a mentor that I talk to, that I run things by so that I don't have to walk my journey alone.
Mm.
My life is really big, and I believe big, and I manifest big, and I ask for big. You know,
Mm.
I
Stop, cover,
I really
cover.
do.
We're not gonna shout on this podcast now.
Yes, we are.
Mm.
But, life gives
Yeah.
you opportunity.
Mhm.
And when I was growing up, I was like any other kid on the block. I may not have had everything I wanted. I may
Right.
not have gotten every birthday gift. I may not have had the same shoes that somebody else had, or, I may not have been able to take a European summer trip.
Right.
But instead, my parents sent me to music school. My parents were like, "Oh, no, no, you're not gonna be lollygagging. You're in school during the summer, like every
Yeah.
summer, whether
Yeah.
it's church school, music school, acting school, some kind of school, with your
Wow.
family school, whatever it is,
Yeah.
you're going to be learning something."
Yes.
And all the time, I would go on these walkathons and raise money for other people, and go knock on door to door and say, "Hey, can I have $1? Because I'm raising money for whatever. I have to walk 28 miles today." And I've always loved to gain in order to give back.
That's good.
I absolutely love it. So, in all of my learning, I've learned compassion. I've learned understanding. I've learned the gaps in practice along the way. And in my doctoral program, I'm writing about some of those gaps in practice for
Yeah.
entrepreneurial literacy that
Yes.
we seem to be forgetting as a people, even though we have voiceover. Okay,
Right.
what else do you have? Like some
Yeah.
people complain, I don't have enough jobs this week or this month or this year.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else do you have?
Mm.
If you have a voice, can you sing? Can you
Right.
act? Can
Right.
you dance? Can you edit something for your fellow person? Can you produce something? Like, what else is it that you have? Do you love to cook? Can you start like a whole cooking thing out
Mm.
your kitchen that helps your neighbor? And maybe you voice something for your local car wash or gas station or
Yeah.
something, but you're having these multiple streams of income, right? And in my 30-day book, I talk about not only how to take care of your voice, but how to take care of yourself.
Mhm.
Because all of this leads up to the education piece of your voice. So this book is not for the voice actor. It's not for the actor. It's not for the singer.
Right.
It's not for the school teacher. It's not for the babysitter. It's not for the person at the Y screaming at the kids to learn how to swim. It's
Right.
for all of that.
Yeah.
It's for all of us. We use our voices all day, every day.
Mhm. Mhm.
Be a daycare, owner, and
Yeah.
you're having to shh, be quiet. Okay, let's do this. Oh, let's play.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Stressing your voice
Mhm.
to warm it up. You need to exercise. You need to figure it out. One time, my god sister lost her voice for her class. And
Wow.
she had me get a tape recorder, y'all, and she wrote out her class, and she said, "Read this for me so that I can play it for each of my hours of class." So she got
Wow.
hours, 5 to 7 hours of classes. So I'm trying to
Wow.
read and understand and read and make it so that it didn't sound boring for the kids, right?
Yes. Mhm.
So I learned, I was like, maybe this is another stream of income for me. Maybe I can do e-learning or I can do some things that have to do with classes. So
Yeah.
it's really, really fun, but it also helped me understand we all use our voices.
Yeah.
You could be a salesperson for cars.
Mhm.
You're still using your voice.
Mhm.
So you're going to need to take care of it.
It's funny that you said that because as I read through this book, that's exactly what I thought about. I was like, this is not just for voice actor. Like, this is, you know, anyone can use everything that's in this book, so I'm glad to hear you say that, it's not just for the actor, the voice actor. It is for, and again, everyone, no matter what it may be, it kind of makes me think about how a lot of times people feel about math when they're in school. It's like, I'm not going to use this. I'm never going to use this. Like, where are we going to use this at? Yeah, and you use those different things in ways that you don't even think about, and it's the same way it is with your voice. It just comes so natural. People don't even realize just how often you're using your voice. So I'm glad that you actually gave those examples. I do want to back up a little bit if I can. um you said that you learned at an early on, not to internalize what maybe you were seeing and hearing, because you knew that you were giving your best, and um where did that come from? Did that is that something that was just instilled in you, or did you actually have to learn how to do that?
Wow. Okay. So I
We
don't
like to go deep here.
yes, you do. Yes, you do. I don't talk much about this, but in my
Okay.
childhood, I was bullied.
Okay.
And I was bullied for various reasons. I was
Yeah.
bullied because of the job that my parents had. I was
Mhm.
bullied because my brother was in the military.
Okay.
Bullied because my hair looked different when I went swimming.
Mhm.
I was bullied because my grandmother lived with us. All
Right.
of these things that are okay and fine now,
That's right.
but
Yeah.
to those little kids, I used to get pushed down on my way home from school. I used
Mhm.
to get my birthday gifts stolen. My mom
Mhm.
made a coat for me one time. The first day I wore it to school, somebody took it.
Oh,
Just
wow.
random. I mean, it was
Yeah.
just it seemed one thing after another.
Right. Right.
And finally, I just said, "You know what, Kever? If this is what life is and this is how people are, you've gotta be the bigger person. They can be as mean as they wanna be, but you do not need to become them."
Yeah.
And from that point on, I stood out in my mind. I was the diamond in the rough. And I'm like, "Y'all just mad because 'cause I'm a diamond. Y'all are just tripping because I want something more." Now, I'm just
Mm,
a little kid. I don't even know what something more means, right?
mm.
But I'm just looking in the mirror. Like all you've heard me tell people, look in the
Yeah.
mirror,
Yes.
talk to yourself, be
Mm.
kind to yourself. And I used to do that as a kid. And my
Wow.
grandmother used to talk to me and she was like, just come home and she's like, write your name 50 times. And
Mm.
that's how great you are. 50 times, Kever, 50 times. You're not
Wow.
just one little person, you're 50 times over greatness.
Mhm.
And those were just things I had to do. I would play school and we would play church with my cousins and we would have our little businesses and we would stack our papers and we would just have a great time. And that was a moment of manifestation for all of us.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, we
Yeah.
weren't just outside playing and being mean to kids and, you know,
Right.
taking things from them. We literally were manifesting from childhood.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. I really do appreciate you for sharing that, especially because you said that that's not something that you necessarily talk about publicly or even, like to tap into. But I really appreciate, the vulnerability. I think that that's a core part of depression proof your life, and that is having real conversations, and because something like that can help someone get through something very similar or the exact same thing that someone may be going through or their child may be going through, so I appreciate that.
Welcome.
So I guess this is somewhat of a good segue because because of the way the conversation kind of went, but um sorry. Um, but of course, in reading your book, Grief Relief, you've experienced, significant loss. What was it? Was it therapeutic for you to write this book, and how difficult was it for you to write this book in the midst of still have kind of going through the loss as or even reliving it by writing, about it?
Well, it was definitely reliving by writing.
Yeah.
It took me years to write it.
Okay. Yeah.
It was not written out of um, it was not written out of a desire to get over it,
Hmm.
but it was written out of a desire to find some sort of relief.
Yeah.
I grieved for years,
Yeah.
and people that really know me saw that.
Hmm.
People that kind of knew me never knew. And people in my business world, this is the first time you guys are hearing this. But
Hmm.
I grieved my parents so long that it's still hard to talk about it. Um,
Oh.
it was, and it is, it's still not easy. Um, Recently, my godfather passed away,
Yeah.
and he became the father for me when my dad was gone.
Right.
And writing about it helped me to compartmentalize the feelings
Yeah.
because they didn't go away, right?
Yeah.
Um, they didn't become easier. they didn't become something different.
Yeah.
I still love my parents. I will always love my parents.
Yeah.
My godmother is getting all the love now.
Yes, I saw the one of your posts. Yeah.
Fun and all of our shenanigans. Hi, mom.
Yeah.
So it's good that I was able to make it sort of a journal style book
Yeah.
so that I
Mm,
my resolve and I let you in on my tears. And as you
right.
see, I still have them.
Yeah.
But I give you an opportunity to write your resolve in the book and write through your feelings,
Yeah.
your emotions, and the things that are just happening in your life. And at the end of the book, there's also, some people during that same time of my going through it that were going through it as well. And so, I have some of their testimonials in the back of the book. And people have asked me to do like a course on grief relief. And I haven't done it yet. I think though that it's important. There's a lot of things in the book that I feel would make grief a lot easier for people, like taking more pictures and compartmentalizing your and organizing your pictures, to having voicemail, right? That's very comforting for me right now. When I miss
Oh,
my parents, I can still hear their voice and I
yeah.
can hear them say they love me and I can just hear them laugh and different things like that. Just understanding it a little bit
Yeah.
better and knowing that there's a finality in the time. And so
Mm,
would just put a little bit more effort into it, it'll help you on the back end. Trust and believe me when I say that. So a lot of things I feel, yes, I could give to having a class about it. I just don't know if I'm ready for that
yeah.
yet.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I guess if I pre-recorded it and I cried my way through it, I could edit all that out. So
I think that there's um I'm a crier. Um I can cry when I'm happy, I can cry when I'm sad. I cry when I see other people cry. I'll never forget, I was driving down the street, I don't years ago, and this woman was in tears, and I'm literally driving next to her. I was like, "Are you okay? Are you" like, that's just me, but
yeah.
there is such a beauty, um, in 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 your tears, and I guess the reason I say that is because, so many times people, feel like there should be a time frame on grief, there have been times I was 10 years old when my grandmother died, and um there are still times that my aunt would call me and be in tears, and she's like, I just miss her, you know. um um uh, I want to read something that I think was, if people looked if people could get to a point of looking at death like this, I just thought that this was very beautiful. And I also just want to add, I do love, or you probably can't see it, I do love the space that you leave at the end of each chapter. That's powerful. Like, yeah, I really love that. So this is chapter 2, chapter 20, revolving door.
Mm, okay.
hmm Confession number 20. Existing is not an option when you want to die with them or in place of them. So I'm reading here at the bottom. It says, life is a revolving door. A colleague commits suicide. A close family member passes away, or a coworker's mother dies. Someone helps their mother through traumatic hip replacement recovery. Another friend helps celebrate her mother's 80th birthday, and still another gives birth to a healthy baby boy. Revolving doors keep on revolving. I thought that that was really powerful. In my mind of always thinking and kind of observing and analyzing things, I've realized that a lot of times the, not so much the time when grieving, but how people look at death, like it makes it harder and more painful,
Yeah.
because it, it's almost like as if this person, matter of fact, I did it with Michael Jackson for, and I know he wasn't my family member, like my supervisor said, but I remember saying, and this is the one thing that I said that kind of helped me, like, okay, you have to deal with the reality that this is a part of life, um and I remember crying, and what made me kind of dry up my tears and still have the love and pain, that I may have had, but it is. I was like, I said, Lord, I know that this is a part of life. I said, but I is Michael Jackson. I didn't think he was. I didn't think he was ever going to die, and I was like, but I know that's not reality. When I came to that realization, and honestly, like, okay, you have to be honest with yourself. This is a part of life. It's painful, but again, having those memories, I think that that's extremely important. My brother and I were just talking about that recently. Um, about my nephew. His mom passed away when he was 8 years old,
Mm,
and he's 21 now. And he, my brother was just saying, he was like, I don't remember Mary's voice. He was like, I really don't remember her voice. Uh, but yeah, so it is definitely something that we've thought about. More often, just with, our, parents and, other people in the family getting older, it's like, how can you preserve that,
yeah.
I
It's
was not.
it's definitely, not only taxing on the spirit, but it is something that you have to learn to live with
Yeah.
and allow it to move in with you
Hmm.
and give it a place, give it a space.
Yeah.
Don't try to kick it to the curb. Don't try to deny it. Don't try to
Yeah.
forget about it. Embrace
Hmm.
it. Give it some love.
Yeah.
Water it. Let it grow into what it's supposed to be for your life. Everybody is different.
Yeah.
There is relief from the grief,
Hmm.
and there is something within the grief that can grow. Grief is not just losing a person or losing your toy or, stubbing your toe or,
Right.
grief,
Yeah.
um, there's something there that
Hmm.
if you take the time to understand your individual grief, there is something in there
Yeah.
that is good for you. There is something in there that can some way, somehow brew into something else for you. I know
Yeah.
that's hard to think about and hard to believe for a lot of people, especially when the grief came as trauma or when it
Yeah.
was unexpected.
Hmm.
For my mom, it was unexpected. So that was very traumatic for me for a long time.
Right.
So I get it. I get it. But
Yeah.
eventually, maybe never, but somewhere, somehow in there, there is something, whether it's a positive memory or her smile or remembering her laughter or seeing her handwriting or,
Hmm.
smelling dad's clothes, or sometimes I wear my dad's clothes, right? Just
Hmm.
there's something in there for you. So,
um my dog passed away in 2024. And I got him at the height of my depression. Um like he gave me life. Like he gave me a reason to get out of bed, because he's a dog. I had to take him outside, and because he loved outside so much, it forced me to actually, it's not like I could just let him go outside and come back in. He wanted to stay outside for a while. And when he passed, I know a lot of, my family, I could tell. They never really said anything, but they were always checking in. And but I know that they were concerned about, what that would do to me mentally. And I think that mm, my mind wanted to go there and stay in that. Oh, I can't believe but he was 10. He was 10. I he had just turned 11. Um and I my best friend actually told me, she said, Marion, she said, he wouldn't want you to be depressed. He wouldn't want you, staying in that place. He was like, use the tools that he gave you when he was here that got you out of that, helped get you out of that depression. Continue to keep that. He was like, he said, she even said, she said, imagine you just, rolling over and dying. And he looking at you like, what you doing here? You were supposed to be down there, still, all the time that we had together, you should have, and again, it was, just funny. And I, when I had to put him down, I actually, I played, Walk Around Heaven for him.
Okay.
Um, and uh, it was a peaceful journey, and I it helped me grieve him, in a way that was, I guess, healthy,
Okay.
because I was able to actually process, um what had happened. He had cancer. Yeah, and again, there are times that I can still hear his little feet, or as you say, just those little things that make you smile. He loved being outside. He would be on the porch. Sometimes he would actually sit in front of the door, blocking the door, so I couldn't, I'm not coming back in the house, and you're not gonna make me, so all of those different things. It's it's nice to smile and laugh, because he gave me, all these different memories and things that I can, think about him. I may cry in one moment, but be laughing in the next moment.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. And you definitely don't want him coming back on, "What are you doing here?" Right? It's like, "Excuse me, you have a few
Mhm.
more things to do.
Right.
So,
Right.
uh, get out of here, go back, start over."
Exactly. Use those tools that I gave you.
Yes. Yes.
I think you may have answered this question already, but it's definitely clear, everything that you do is very intentional. Um, you
It
know,
is. It is.
yeah, very intentional, with the timing, and um yeah, with it all. What was the significance of you actually releasing the 30-day voice athlete strategy now? And how long had you actually been, um developing it, and also, what's behind the meaning of the name? I think I know, but what is the meaning behind the name of the book?
I'm gonna answer the first part, and you
Sure.
answer the second part.
Mhm.
So the first part, don't you love how I'm just like on your show, I'm like, "Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a few questions." Right?
You know what? You know where that came from? That came from write your name 50 times. That's Keaver. I know that it's your show, but I got a question for you.
Right? Right.
Ain't nothing wrong with it at all.
Exactly. So the book came from all of oh my goodness, let's see if I can find something for you. See
Mhm.
all these Post-it notes? A whole bunch of Post-it notes
Okay.
and, voice messages, and just I would leave myself, voice memos. I would leave myself voice
Right.
messages, memos. I would send myself emails. Every time I learned something new or something worked for me, whether it was a tongue twister that I wrote, uh,
Mm.
or whether it was I had a line, in a script that really didn't work out for me, so I had to read it backwards to try and figure out how to say it the right way, and
Right. Okay.
little things that just help me do things.
Right.
If it was, I was at the doctor's office and they said, "Hey, try this." I would, of course, you make a little note and you try it. And if it worked, kind of put that in your arsenal.
Right.
Different types of elixirs that I would buy over time or hear from other singers that were on tour that had strained their voice and things that would work. Or, like I said before, different school teachers or different just people in
Yeah.
general that were, people that train at the gym and they're saying, "Hey, let's do it again 6 times. Come on, come on." These cats are like talking over other people and talking loud all day long.
Mhm.
So it's like as I learned those different things, I would just jot them down and just put them everywhere.
Right.
Finally, I said, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do with all this stuff. And my success coach, Crystal, said, why don't you just get all of the post notes you have and all the stuff that you have and just maybe that could be the book. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay. And it's interesting, whenever she gives me an idea for some
Mhm.
strange reason, I run to the finish line with it. Because I
Mm.
believe that if she's done it and it's tried and true and she's shared this with however many people over time,
Right.
there's gotta be something in there, right?
Right.
She doesn't just talk to be talking. And so
Mm. That part.
that
Yeah.
part, right?
Yeah.
So I said, let me just take all these post notes. Let me just find all my little notes and my journal. Like, she encourages journaling and planning and, doing your Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, doing your whole year, putting it all together. Every week, she's, talking to me and giving some audio and doing whatever. And I'm like, okay, all this stuff that I've written down over time, let's go ahead and let's put it together. And as I was putting it together, it became, now, if people actually did one of these things every day, and you can
Yeah.
go back and do the 30 days, 30 days, 30 days, what
Mhm. Mhm.
I said, I think it's easier for me to lay it out this way versus putting it in chapter form.
Oh, right.
Because
Okay.
as an athlete, right, it's steps. You have to take the steps in life. You have to, if you are a football player, you're
Mhm.
not sitting on the sofa during the summer eating pizza and ice cream. Off season, you are still
You're
training.
still training. Yeah.
You are still working out. You are still figuring out the game. You are still learning new plays. You are
Mhm.
still getting your groove on. You are getting down and dirty and figuring it out
Yeah.
all the time, every single day.
Mhm.
And that's how all of it came to fruition and it came together, was just me taking notes out of my booth and putting those in there and just making sense of it all. And honestly, it helped me. I went through and did the 30 days before I moved some of the days around because I was like,
Okay.
no, maybe you should do this. This work better for me.
Right.
I actually did 30 days. And so I'm living proof that it works. And
Yeah.
a lot of those days are little nuggets of things that I gave you guys when I would mentor you and talk to you and just say,
Right.
"Hey, try this, do this.
Mhm.
I promise you it works."
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it came about.
I love the example that you gave about a football player. I love the Olympics, and a lot of times at the end, they'll after they finish. I'm thinking about track and field right now because that's one of my favorites. But a lot of times uh, the interviewer will ask, so what are you going to do on your break? I'm like, I, got- I'm not, I don't have much of a break. I got to train.
Yeah,
I'm still training.
yeah.
And my aunt and I kind of are in awe, I guess. And you think about how often every 4 years that the Olympics comes,
Mhm.
and the training that it and the mindset,
Yes,
back to that mind that it takes to
yes,
train, of course, not knowing whether you're going to make it or not, whether you're going to make the team, all of those different things. But again, just having that focus that every day they're training to meet that end goal. So
yes.
um
It is definitely the mindset. I have a T-shirt that a friend made for me that says mindset. And
mhm,
you have to really look at it like that.
yeah.
Imagine this. If you and this was something that I said, at VO Atlanta in the, class that I was teaching there.
Mhm,
Imagine, I said, how many people pay over $100 to go hear a performance, to go hear a concert, or to go hear the opera or go see theater? Everybody raised their hand. I
right.
said, okay, how many of you would pay to sit front court if you could at a
Mm,
athletic game? The
mm.
guys all raised their hand. I said,
Right, right.
so the fact that you're willing to sacrifice the money that you've made,
Mm,
would you be mad if their mindset was not on the game or the concert that
mm,
you're willing to sacrifice to pay for?
yeah,
Would you be upset if they said, "Well, I just performed in San Francisco. Ooh, I'm too tired to go to LA. So I
yeah,
know y'all paid for the tickets, but Imma give you your money back." Wouldn't you be a little bit upset if they didn't
right.
take care of their voice? Or if
Mhm,
their mindset wasn't, "Okay, the concert's over. I need to go and get some sleep," instead of, "Let me just go and hang out with friends." you would kind of be a
Yeah,
little bit upset, I would think. And their mindset is not just, let me do this today.
right.
This is how their life has become over time
Mhm.
so that they can give you all of them.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do to give to our clients. That's what
Mhm.
we have to do to give to our spouses, to our friends. For
Mhm.
me to come on your show today, I didn't just start getting ready today.
Right. Mhm.
I've been grooming myself for years for such an opportunity to hopefully say something today that will change someone's life,
Right.
that will make someone smile, that will make them pick their head up out of depression and keep going and just
Yeah.
remain positive. Hopefully, something I say today will make a person want to get out of bed and
Yeah.
just know that it's possible.
Mhm.
It's possible. If you grew up with nothing, this is possible. If you
Yeah.
were bullied, this is possible. If you've lost your voice and had to write on 3 by 5 note cards for a
Right.
couple of months, this is still possible.
Yeah.
If you felt that I don't have a microphone, I don't have this, I don't have a vocal booth, I don't have whatever, this right here that Marion and Kever are doing today, it's possible.
Yeah.
It's a mindset. You gotta want it and you've gotta train for it. You've gotta have that athletic strategy.
Yeah.
It's all possible.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. Um excuse me. I know one of the frameworks again, just talking about mindset. Um what would you say to someone that feels like when you're talking about mindset and just the mental uh, toughness, that was something else that was in the book, has no space in creativity. What would you say to them? Because as the title of your episode, it's not really talked about that much, but it's definitely the mindset. And the reason I know that to be true is because I was actually talking to a coach. Actually, it was Tina Marasco, but I actually told her. I said if I hadn't been through therapy and been through all the different things that I've been through, coming into voiceover, being in that booth, by yourself, and you're doing it, and you're doing the auditions, that would take a toll on me. I said, but because I've gone through all the different things that I've gone through, I know how to handle being in the booth by myself, and knowing how to talk to myself in a positive way so that I don't get in, getting out of my own head, all those different things. So what would you say to someone if that feels like mental toughness has nothing to do with creativity?
Mental toughness is what gives your creativity legs.
Mm,
Mental toughness is what gives your creativity longevity.
yeah.
Your creativity 10 years ago
Mhm.
is totally different from your creativity now.
Yes,
There are so many forms of
definitely.
technology, there's so many forms of different weather streams, and so many forms of different political arenas, and so many forms of different places to travel that weren't even discovered 20, 30, 10 years ago,
Right.
right? That mental strength is really, really important. So much so, and I talk about it just a little bit. I just give you a little taste of it in my book, but
Mhm.
I'm designing an app that deals with helping your nervous system.
Yes.
My Rest Today app
Mhm.
deals specifically with the mental stresses that we deal with.
Mhm.
Because a lot of us don't even know that it's a mental stress that we're
Right, that's good, Kevin. That is so good. Yeah,
we
just don't even identify it as yeah,
we
that's
don't
good.
even identify it. We just think,
Yeah.
"Oh, man, I had a crummy day," or,
Mhm.
"Oh, man, I'm just so unfocused right now," or, "Oh,
Yeah,
man, where did the afternoon go?
that's right. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I can't I gotta get all these auditions done. How am I gonna do it?"
Mhm.
We don't even identify
That's good.
that it's a mental struggle
Yeah.
that we're going through, or a mental toughness that we need to develop, or
Mhm.
a mental anything that
Yeah.
you're sometimes you just feel like you don't wanna get out of bed. Have you ever wondered why? Have you
Mm.
ever thought about that? It may not be that you didn't get enough sleep. It may not be that you got too much sleep. It may not even be what you ate last night. It could be something 100%, 360, totally different.
Yeah.
And doing one little strategy, one little nugget could shift the entire trajectory of your day,
Mhm.
of your week. And doing them daily could change your life.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that for quite some time, and
Mhm.
I'm honored to be able to once again give back and
Yeah.
put this in the form of an app so that I can give it back to this community and other communities.
Mm.
Make sure that you know that mental has a lot to do with your creativity,
Mm.
because sometimes if the block is on, if there's something going on up here in this knot
Right.
and there's a block going on, how are you gonna read that?
Nothing can get through. Yeah.
Nothing
Mhm.
to get through. How are you
Mhm.
gonna talk to that person? How are you gonna train that class? How are you gonna teach the next generation if you're in this mental fog?
Yeah.
And I talk about that mental fog also in the grief book.
Mm. Yes.
Mental has a lot to do with your life overall. When
Mm.
you talk to people and they say, I'm living in the now, or they're talking about their subconscious, or they're talking about their mindset, all of that is mental.
Yeah.
Eating right every day,
Mhm.
mental.
Yeah.
Deciding to exercise is mental,
Mental. Mhm.
right? Deciding to smile at someone, even though you're like, oh my goodness, I could cry.
Right.
It's
Right.
mental.
Yeah.
It's mental. Whether it's a mental toughness or a mental sensitivity or a mental whatever you want to call it for whatever it is you need at that particular time. The mind, as they say, is a terrible thing to waste.
Mhm.
All mental. It's all mental.
You know, I thought you were gonna say something else.
Tell me, what was it?
Because I told my mom when I was one of my last inpatient stays, I told my mom, I said, Ma, I said, I realized that the mind is a powerful thing.
It is.
So powerful. I said, Ma, I said, there were times that I literally felt it, like one one s- one side of my brain was like, do this, the hopeless part, right? But because of my spirituality, because of my education, all these different things, there were multiple times that I literally had to leave the house because just being in the four walls were closing in, um and I told my mom, I said, the mind is a powerful thing,
It
and
is.
you can, it can convince, you can tell yourself, hey, this is what you need to do. You might not feel like it, but you got to do it, and again, even I've talked about sometimes that I will, when I do have some type of mental block, it's like, why reading this script is not making any sense. I can't, I'm not connecting with it, There are many times I'll go outside, listen to my birds, watch my birds, watch the bees and the wasps try to get to the hummingbird food, nectar, all the different, and after just spending some time outside, just in nature, it's like, okay, I go back in and it's firing,
Yes.
and so again, it's about, as me and some of the other guests have talked about, being self-aware, as
Yes.
being self-aware, knowing, okay, I need to take a break,
Yeah.
don't try to force it. I need to take a break, whatever that break may be, whatever it may be that you need, and then come back to it, with a clearer mind,
Yeah.
the mindset, going back to it. So yeah,
Yep.
this has been so good.
Yes. It's been great. We're gonna have
Yeah.
to do part 2. We're gonna do part 2.
Yes. Yes. Well, I got it. So I'll talk to you about some, because I think that it would be a interesting episode for me to be interviewed.
I love that. Yes,
Yes.
I do, I do.
Yes. So maybe Kever could be the interviewee.
The answer is yes already.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, but yeah, I think that that would be, of course, I share my story, but really the in-depth, I think that that would be a nice twist. So I'm going to, if while I share your information, let me share your information, because I don't know. Sometimes people, I can't hear people. Like, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, and I can hear you. Okay, so while I'm sharing your information, please, if there's anything else that you feel like we didn't go over, or that you want people to, you want to leave with people before we close.
I would just say in closing, thank you very much for opening the door to depression, to mindset, to
Yeah.
understanding, to compassion, giving a platform where people can talk about it, providing this platform where people can engage.
Hmm.
And like I said before, prayerfully, someone is watching this and it's a game changer for them.
Yeah.
Maybe they can reach out to you for, more support. I just am honored and just privileged to be considered to be on your show. And I am glad that you have picked up the reins and you are willing to be transparent about who
Yeah.
you are and what you've gone through and what people are currently going through.
Right. Yeah.
So I definitely want to say thank you for being you.
Oh, thank you, Kever. You're trying to make me cry again. But no, I really do. I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah. And to kind of tap on something that you said earlier, about, what else can you do? I know when I finally got comfortable with doing commercials, felt pretty comfortable. It was like, okay, what else can I do? And people were being a coach and people were being mentors, and I was like, yeah, that's not no, no. I'm like, okay, well, I was trying to think of all these different things, and it's like God was like, what what's important to you? Mental health is something that will always be important to me. That is a passion of mine. um yeah, so it's just funny how, you know how we are given things, sometimes, way back there,
Mhm.
and it pulled, at the right time. It's like, now it's time.
Yeah.
Now it's time, now it's time to unleash, and so the timing was just right. And again, um I've said, building doors is what gave me the courage to actually do this, because of
Yeah.
some of the things that we actually do with building doors. So that definitely was like, wow, wait a minute. I I could do this with, so I'm definitely honored. I appreciate your kind words, but I'm really honored, and I just thank God that, that to be trusted with it, because it's definitely something that I don't take lightly. When I'm hearing people's stories, I'm try to be as mindful as I can, with the information that they're giving, and even the conversations that we have prior, making sure that that's still, if it's not something that they're ready to share, making sure that I respect that, because again, I think that communities like this are built on trust. So
Yes.
yeah.
I agree.
Right. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. I mean, when you talk about you're honored, no, I was honored. Like, it was like, okay, I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna ask her to be on the show. No, yeah. I mean, seriously, like yeah, there's like a few guests that I was like, I mean, I don't know what I mean, I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna ask them, and like this little schoolgirl, like, okay, what if they say no? I mean, I don't. I'm like, and then it was like, okay, just ask. If they say no, they say no, but it's a yes or a no. So give it a try. But yeah, so I was definitely honored to have you on the show. And again, you are an open book to those that come to you.
Mhm.
But I appreciate you for sharing yourself with the masses. I really do. I really appreciate it. So, all right. So until next time, excuse me. Um, thank you so much for watching. This is Marion Mills reminding you that small steps towards mental strength can make a big difference. Stay intentional, stay resilient, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us on Depression Proof Your Life Live tonight. If this conversation stirred up heavy emotions for you, reach out for help. Call or text 988 for 24-hour support in the U.S. If you're outside the U.S., look up your local crisis helpline. If you'd like to stay connected with DPYL, Make sure to follow and subscribe on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And visit depression-prooflife.com for resources, blogs, and to share your story. Depression Proof Your Life offers workshops and trainings designed to help teams reduce burnout and strengthen resilience. Together, we're building a community of strength, clarity, and resilience. Until next time, take care of yourself. And remember, healing is possible.